Nut Nerd Podcast, episode 270. The bloom is off the rose.
Welcome to the Nut Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Well, hello there, good old reliable Nathan. It is good to see your smiling face today.
Yes, we are ready to talk technology, as we oft do, and sometimes even on the podcast. Yeah, well, let's get into some follow-up. We were talking last week about the Amazon purchase of the week was the Amazon Fire Stick Lite that somebody has purchased. I hadn't heard back from them, but you were going to look into the Google Play or Google Store capabilities currently on Amazon.
So the deal is Google is deprecating a lot of their Google Play stuff. So Google Play Music, video, blah, blah, blah. That's like not a thing anymore. The big question is YouTube TV available on the Amazon product? And the answer is yes. So if you're an So if you're a YouTube TV subscriber, you can get one of these sticks and be on your merry way. So that was the big thing. That's where YouTube is, or Google. I mean, I keep conflating these things. That's where Google is giving their content these days, is through their YouTube app. So.
Okay.
And are you still a subscriber there?
Yes, we are. It's like $65 a month now, and I just can't bring myself to give it up. But I like having the TV on and like keeping up with sports and some of the other stuff going on, so I do it, and someday I will break free from that. But the YouTube TV is so nice, the unlimited DVR. So any show that you care about, you just hit record this, and you have access to every single episode, that comes out. So it's not, over at my parents' house, they have the Comcast Xfinity DVR X1 2500 or whatever it is now, and they're always having to go through and delete off some of the older Hallmark movies that they've already watched to make room. And so I think that's the big advantage, plus being able to watch it on any device, as you mentioned. So my phone, my computer, I can watch live TV. There are some great advantages, but it's still a lot of money, and we don't use, there's 3 or 4 channels that we actually watch.
Yeah. It's an evolving process, figuring out exactly what TV content and what subscription services you want to subscribe to. So it's ever changing.
Yes. And I did want to bring up again the whole GameStop, Robinhood stock market thing. Well, never you fear. The big guys won again. GameStop is currently down to $63.77 as I look. It got up above $400. But don't worry, the feds and the big money people, they were able to adjust things back down so that they didn't get hurt as bad. And a lot of us that invested some of our hard-earned money lost it.
Yes. Well,
mine's way down, but I spent a whole $20, so it was worth it.
You don't lose until you sell. So hold those shares.
It could go back up, and we'll continue to hear more of that. And I think, as they do with everything, there's going to be some federal congressional hearings or whatever on it, and try to figure out. And
the rich get richer.
Yes. For a long time, Robinhood, the app that is supposed to let the steal from the rich in folklore sense, they were letting you buy like 1 share at a time, and I read that you can now buy up to 20 shares. So how nice of them to actually let you buy stocks that you want to buy.
Yeah, and it's more complicated. They have to have the money to do the shares and the stocks, and there was a holding company that needed to release the funds, and so if a lot of people have made a lot of good videos and articles on it if you want to look them up.
Yes.
And actually, let's link to one that I saw from Jonathan Harrison that is a pretty good explainer.
Yeah, we will do that. It is, but yes, the bloom is off the rose, as they might say on that one, and not quite as exciting as it was last week.
That is true.
I came across an interesting one. A previous pick of the week. We've talked about it many times when, Google Chrome is just bogged down. There's an extension that we both use called the Great Suspender, which takes tabs you aren't using, and after a certain amount of time, it just suspends them so they're not using any resources. Well, I saw a story that it was removed from the Chrome Web Store due to malware.
Yikes.
Not
good.
I looked, it's still active for me. I use Brave Browser, but that uses the Chrome store. And apparently it's been sold a couple times and nobody really knows who owns it right now. I didn't see anything specific about how dangerous it was, just maybe more that there was the potential for some bad things to be happening there. I did look. The version number that I have is 7.1.9.
Okay.
And the one they mentioned in the article is 7.1.8. So maybe from the couple days since this article was put out, they were able to do an update, get it resolved, get it back in. But just one of those things, even the stuff that we pick and think is good is not safe.
Right.
Talk about that way too often. And so if you did have issues with the Great Suspender, hopefully everything's working and there's some ways you can look at the link to get back to the links if you had a bunch of tabs open like I always do. But hopefully it just keeps working for you and they have their problems resolved.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. You know what else also resolves problems? Dave's Pro Tip of the Week.
Well, thank you for that. I hope this will resolve a problem. This is a very niche conversation we're going to have today. Niche it's for people who basically have more than one Mac. Some of our listeners are PC users, I'm sure. Some of our listeners don't use iPhones. And so this is, maybe not relevant. But from our statistics, I can deduce that most of the people at least are familiar with Macs or have iPhones or whatever. And so this is a Mac specific tip, but it spills over into your iPhone as well. Dear listener Tyler, a few weeks ago, their family purchased a different computer, and they have an iMac, and now they have a laptop. And the question was, how do I get the documents on my desktop of computer A on the desktop of my computer B? And the solution was, let's go through and let's do like Google Drive and shared folders, or iCloud Drive and shared folders with shortcuts on the desktop and all of this crazy things. And I said, you're working too hard, man. Apple's had this figured out for a couple versions of their operating system now. And what it is you can have iCloud sync your desktop and your documents folder automatically. All you need are, to use proper English, 2 computers and an iCloud account. And I'll run through how to do this right now. So on your Mac, you simply go to the settings menu, and that might be in your dock, or you can go to the little Apple menu at the top left corner and go to System Preferences. That's where you'll find all the settings for everything. Once inside there, you click on your name, because that's where all the iCloud settings are found these days, or the Apple ID icon that might be at the top of your screen. And then you will find an iCloud Drive option inside your Apple ID settings. And when you click the Options button, there are a variety of things. It really depends on what you have on your computer, but you can synchronize various things through your iCloud service. And right at the very top of my list, it says Desktop and Documents folders. If that checkbox is checked on both computers, and both computers are both signed in to the same Apple ID, boom, everything in your Documents folder, everything in your desktop will suddenly start syncing with each other. Now, there are a few caveats.
There are a few provisos, a couple of quid pro quos.
You don't want to go around and drop like a 12 gigabyte movie like the Lord of the Rings trilogy on your desktop, because guess what? It's going to upload that to the cloud, and then it's going to take it from the cloud and download it back to the other computer. And you can start getting into trouble real quick of running out of drive space on your computer and your iCloud Drive. So that's something to be aware of. You might also be in your Finder menu and you're like, well, I'm just going to go to my user folder / desktop to find this file. Well, no. It's not there anymore. You're going to find it like in your user / library / application support / mobile documents / something / desktop, because it's now part of the iCloud ecosystem. And so it's not going to be the files and folders are not going to live where you think they live. So with those caveats aside, if you just turn off your brain and you turn on the switch and just let Apple be Apple, then you can synchronize the desktop and documents folders of 2 computers quite easily. So if you have a computer at work, 1 at home, 2 at home, whatever, and you want to synchronize this stuff through iCloud, that's the way to do it. And I mentioned that this spills over into your phone, of course, because with the Files app on your phone, you can look at the computer and you can look at the desktop folder and the documents folder. And on your iOS device, you can even access those files or even put new files so that they show up on your computer. So it's kind of a win-win.
Yes. And back to the taking up lots of space on your hard drive, they do have the optimize your computer. So it always saves everything in iCloud unless you delete it out of those folders. But then it will download stuff if you need it. If you can guess, I've got a lot of files that I rarely need access to, and so not all of those stay downloaded on my Mac. I will also mention, if you are on Windows 10 and using a Microsoft account to sign in, you do have some of those options for syncing as well, which is very nice. And
for our PC friends.
Yeah, and that's the files. And then with iCloud, you can already be syncing your Safari between all your iOS devices and your Mac computer,
and if you
your
use
notes,
passwords,
reminders, iCloud password, which we will mention again in our takes for a new feature with that. But yeah, so there are a lot of things there. It's gotten so much better for that syncing. So if you do find yourself with multiple computers or devices, you can have access to everything everywhere, which was the dream of the cloud in the first place.
Yes. We're one step closer to making that happen.
Yes. Well, let us move on to our takes of the week. The big news this week, Mr. Jeff Bezos, maybe you've heard of him, one of the richest men in the world, depending on the day, has announced that he's going to be stepping down as CEO of Amazon. Now, he's not walking away from Amazon. He, I'm sure, will still be very involved. But when you're one of the richest men in the world, if I was in his position, I wouldn't want to be stuck with the stuff that I don't want to do. Isn't that the goal of any career, is to get to the point where you're not doing the things you don't want to do?
That's the dream. You pick the pieces you want and then you delegate everything else.
Yes, and it was actually funny as I was going through Feedly and all my tech news sources, there was back-to-back headlines, one from, they were actually both shared by TechMeme, one from Bloomberg and one from Ben Thompson at Stratechery, who we talk about often. But the first one, and these were right back to back in my list. First one, Jeff Bezos' surprise resignation feels natural and even inevitable. The walls of his highly compartmentalized empire have been crumbling for some time, written by Brad Stone. Then the next one, Jeff Bezos departs as perhaps the best CEO in tech history, having created 3 huge businesses, Amazon.com, AWS, and Amazon's marketplace fulfillment services. So I thought that was just, everybody's got their take, and obviously Amazon is under some scrutiny at this time, but you also have to at the same time admit that Jeff Bezos built a pretty big company. So
yes, he did.
Andy Jassy, who has been running the Amazon Web Services, he will be taking over as CEO, and it says in Q3. He's been with Amazon since 1997. So
wow. We used to, back in high school, call him Sassy Andy Jassy.
Yes. Yes, I have read a few just quips from different people that have interviewed him, and it sounds like maybe he's a little bit more approachable than Jeff Bezos in some, it sounds like it's a good move. I haven't heard anybody say, oh, this is here goes Amazon, sell your stock now.
I think you'll be okay.
Yes, but one of the other things that Jeff Bezos probably doesn't want to deal with is our next story. I don't even know if we've mentioned it, but there has been a huge push with Amazon employees. I mean, they have hundreds of thousands of employees around the world, and especially in the United States, working in the distribution centers, delivery drivers, and
I saw another delivery driver train today.
yes,
There were
yes.
like 30 Amazon trucks.
Yes, those blue trucks are everywhere. Well, they have been trying to unionize, and there is a vote coming up in Alabama, and you might have heard the story where Jeff Bezos was very against mail-in voting for their unionization after being a very big proponent of mail-in voting for the U.S. election. So I will remind people we are the most nonpartisan tech podcast on the internet. But so they are coming up to vote in Alabama on whether they want to unionize or not. And they are bombarding the employees with anti-union stuff. There's signs in the bathrooms. They're getting text messages every day. They are really trying to avoid all of these employees unionizing, whatever the outcome of that might be.
Yeah. Yep. It's rough. There's arguments for both directions. So hopefully whatever is right will prevail.
Yes, good. True.
How's that for nonpartisan?
Yes. And Dave, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this news will not change whether or not you or I buy a Ford vehicle anytime in the future. I don't think that was even probably on our radar, but they have announced that millions, and the article actually put that in quotes, millions of its vehicles will run on Android starting in 2023. So a couple more years.
That's going to actually push me away from
Yes.
getting a Ford. I don't want my Ford to be hacked as easily as an Android phone is hacked. So we shall see. Hopefully they're going to put a little wrapper around it and they're just using the base Android and they're building something on top of it. But yikes for me.
Yes, yeah. So there was probably a 1% chance that I would buy a Ford vehicle because of life.
I'm not
so
a
now
Ford
it
fan
probably
these
drops
days.
down to a 0.5% chance with this news. But there have been new rumors on the Apple Car and all this. We kind of had this big push with fully automated driving and all this stuff, and Tesla obviously. And I think over the next couple of years, we're really going to see this take off.
If I had the funds and the means right now, if Ford has their Android car, please no. If Apple Car existed,
yes,
I would probably still get a Tesla. I'm a big Tesla fan. I feel like that they're very mature in the market and they've got a lot of stuff figured out. And even if Apple came out with a car tomorrow, I still might be a little bearish on it.
Yes. Well, our next story, we mentioned iCloud keychain, where you can sync passwords, between your phone and your computer, and it works really great if you use Safari as a browser, which neither of us do as our primary browser, which is why we use LastPass. But Apple has released iCloud passwords extension for Google Chrome, which sounds exciting, but only on Windows.
Okay.
So if you have an iPhone, you've got all your passwords saved on there, you use Google Chrome on Windows, you can now also use your iCloud keychain passwords there. So it would be nice if it was on the Mac too. They don't make Safari for Windows any longer, but I think I would still, unless you are purely Safari, purely iPhone, purely Mac, you can get away with iCloud keychain, which we've discussed before. But otherwise, just use LastPass. A couple of my business clients in the last probably month, I'm holding people's hands to use LastPass and, get all their passwords in there and kind of show them how it works. And man, with the integration it has on iPhone now and in your web browser, it is just so convenient.
How do you change the world? One person at a time.
Yes.
So you're just holding the hands. I will say Safari passwords or Apple, whatever it is called, is good for people like my daughter. She's got an iPhone and a Mac. That's it.
Yeah.
And she does use Chrome, but just for like school stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
But she's fine using Safari for everything. So if you're like just a casual user that just has a very, let's say, normal needs, then it's probably going to work great for you.
Yes, this I would agree. Well, our bonus odd take of the week. This is one that you found that brought back some great memories. There is a website, webamp.org, and what it is a in web browser version of Winamp. Now, if you've been in the MP3 world for a long time, you will probably remember Winamp from the late 90s. Into the 2000s until really iTunes took over. It was the go-to MP3 player with the equalizer and the visualizations, and you could get all these skins, and this website does a great job of mocking that up and allowing you to play around with it like back in the day.
Yeah, you can click on the different files on the little virtual desktop there and look at different skins, and there's one that looks like old style Apple.
Yes.
It's not like classic Apple, but like OS 10 when it first came out. The lickable icons and the pinstripes. It's hilarious. And the reason you should go here is because you know that Winamp really kicks the llamas. You know what?
Yes.
Which is their phrase or their slogan. It's a lot of fun. I had some fun playing around with it, and it works really well.
Yeah, it does. It goes to show you both how far web technology has come and how simple software was back then, that now you can just put software into a web browser and play around with it. But if you want a little nostalgia, check that out.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun. And you know what else is sometimes a lot of fun? Our picks of the week.
So, I got a couple new items this past week, and one actually yesterday, but this is not going to be my pick because, you know me, I got to do my due diligence. I've got to use some items for a while. And I finally, as I teased last week, had a companion to my, the magnetic case. I'm using my phone right now to record, so I can't show you my case. But I've got the magnetic MagSafe case. Well, I needed a companion item for my car so that I could this has been my dream for years. I just want something to put my phone into that charges and stays secure. And then when I pull it out, I don't have to unplug anything. I don't know if I'm concerned that my lightning port's going to wear out or my cable's going to, I don't know what my concern is. I just want the ease of use. And it's finally come. Finally. It's just got a small little title. The compatible with iPhone 12/12 mini /12 Pro /12 Pro Max /MagSafe car charger, magnetic car air vent mount wireless charger phone holder with 15-watt fast charging auto clamp for MagSafe /magnetic case only. Car charge. So what is this thing? It's got a little piece. You put it on your air vent. There's also I think a suction. I don't know, there's a suction cup, but there's another piece, a glue. You glue it on or whatever. And then it's a MagSafe charger that you plug into your cigarette lighter. And then with your MagSafe case, you just pop it right on there. It starts to charge. You take it off, and you're ready to go. That's it. It's like the Jeff Goldblum Apple computer. Step 1, plug it in. Step 2, turn it on. Step 3, there is no step 3. You just put it on and it works, right? So anyway, there are many different ones. The reason I chose this one is because the 15-watt fast charge kind of tickled my ear a little bit, even though I'm not sure. I think you have to have a cigarette lighter adapter that actually offers that. And I don't even know if there are any in the marketplace that offer that. So it might be just a marketing spin.
I think the Aki one does. I'll look that up while you talk because I'm not listening to you.
Yeah, that's normal. So again, there were a couple other ones. The second thing I liked about it is that it's kind of got a more slim profile. There's this one that's rated really highly. It's a big fat square thing. And most of the thing is made up by the huge bezel around the disc part. I don't understand that. So this is basically just the disc with a small little chin part and that's it. It's very compact. If you have the mini, the 12 mini, it should fit on there and you shouldn't see anything overlapping on the outside. So visually it looks great. It's just floating. It looks like my phone is floating in front of my dash, and it just works great. Pop it on and off, works horizontally, works vertically. The only bad thing, and they show this in their graphic, shame on them, is you don't get the animation when you plop it on there. It doesn't give you the MagSafe animation. It just shows, your battery icon changes to charging. So they show that picture in their artwork. It doesn't do that. Some third-party ones do have that feature, but this one does not.
So it's probably not officially MagSafe, but it's using the MagSafe magnet and wireless charging.
Yeah, and right now there's a 10% coupon, and the retail price is $34.99. I think that's about what I paid for it. So you can find these anywhere from like $27 to $50, depending on the brand that you get. But I looked at 3 or 4 of them. Probably by the time you watch this, there's going to be 10 more options than there was when I was looking. But I've used it for the past few weeks, and it seems to work really well.
Now, I'm looking at the page on Amazon, and there's the frequently bought together, which you might think would be this plus a cable plus, the cigarette lighter adapter or something. No, it's this device, an 8-cup food processor, and a lightning to HDMI adapter.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing.
So
Hilarious.
I'm not sure. Apparently, magnetic mounts and food processors are very popular. But yes, I am eager to find. I've actually contacted a couple companies that have come out with products like yours with the top of dash mount like I have currently, and they said, "Oh, that's a great idea. We should think about it." And it's like,
really?
Oh, geez. Well, if only I wanted to get into cheap Amazon product manufacturing.
Yeah, I was wrong about this having like a suction cup mount. It doesn't. But if you have a suction cup mount, it's got a standard ball head that usually works. So you can buy that separately. But what I do like about this is that the vent hook has a little, or the vent, whatever, I don't know what you call it, the thing that goes into the vent, it's got a little hook on the end, and then you screw the neck and it draws that hook into the back of the vent piece, keeping it really secure. And I do like that feature. And if you have a fancy car with a round vent, they've got a little plate that you can put in there that helps with that too.
Yes.
I think you're right for dropping it into your vent, but your mileage may vary.
Yes. Yes, and I did look, and Aki makes several cigarette lighter adapters that are very high wattage, different ones with multiple plugs and all of that stuff. So you can get something that would do the maximum 15 watts. Well, my pick of the week this week, last week I picked my new Wyze thermostat that is keeping our house mostly comfortable. The weather's pretty cold, so there's always that factor, and leaving doors open and that kind of good stuff. But this week I've got another Wyze product. Now, I had purchased or pre-ordered the Wyze Cam V3, their third version of the standard one. And once I got it and kind of tried to put it next to the front door to show our front porch, and just didn't really like it. And I realized, why didn't I buy the Wyze Cam Outdoor? So I quickly pawned my V3 off onto you, Dave. So you'll get to review that.
Did I pay you for that? They gave you cash,
you did.
I think.
You gave me cash.
I was just worried about it. I'm like, I don't remember Venmoing or Apple Paying. That's because I handed you some money. Okay, that works.
Yes, I found the cash in my pocket and was like, where did this come from?
What is this weird paper in my pocket?
Yes.
And before you continue, it's working great, and I can actually see my backyard at night. So thank you.
Nice. So the V3 with shipping, I think it was $26. The outdoor cam is $50. So it's about double the price. But with it, there is a little wireless station that you plug into your wireless router with a couple antennas on it, and then the camera itself is completely wireless. You charge it up. They say it will last up to about 6 months on battery. Mine's at like 88% after a week or so now. But that
I bet you
includes
get a
getting
month
it
or
set
two.
up. Yeah, a month or two. But then it's got a nice little stand, and put one screw into the side of my house, and it's got a very strong magnetic clip have it pointed at my front porch. I'm paying $2 a month for their for the online storage of all the alerts, so I can see when deliveries are made, if I get something delivered and it has to sit out there for a while because we're not here or whatever. Or Amazon, who seems to like to deliver things like at 9 at night these days.
Yeah.
I've got an eye on my front porch, which I don't necessarily need. I'm not super worried, but it is something nice to have. You
For
can
$50.
Yeah,
Wow.
$50.
I mean, come on.
And then $2 a month for the cloud storage. You can put an SD card into it too. But really, and then subsequent outdoor cams, like if I wanted to put one in my backyard, I don't have to buy the $50 kit. I think it's $30 for another camera that can use that same base station.
Yeah.
For the wireless.
And it's not readily available now, but they are developing a doorbell that's kind of like the Ring doorbell.
Yes.
And I'm very interested in getting that. But if you do have a porch that you want to monitor, this outdoor is great because you can get the top-down thing. It's all the stuff that you talked about. But I'm kind of looking forward to the doorbell one too, because it can be wired in and kind of give you a fisheye view at belly button level, at least, of your porch.
Yes, it does. Our doorbell is perpendicular to the front door, so it would just look at our neighbor's front porch. And
Yeah.
so we could rewire it and everything, but I'm like, well, you know what? We really don't want anybody ringing our doorbell anyways. So why don't we just get the camera and
I hear you.
because like with deliveries now, 95 times out of 100, they're just throwing them on your porch.
Yep.
Anyways, well, on to our Ramazon purchase of the week. We love it when you guys shop through our Amazon links. We get a little tiny affiliate kickback on that. We've been doing some more work on the pick store on the website where you can, search through and look at all our previous picks. And so I was looking through this week's report, and I do see that somebody purchased one of the oximeter fingertip. That was my pick a couple weeks ago.
Very nice.
Yes, a couple people bought some the Aki. I had posted on social media, if you're not following us there, the Minima 20-watt iPhone fast chargers, which are really nice.
I think 2 of those were mine.
Yeah, nice. So that is probably you. The universal remote that I picked years ago, somebody picked up one of those, so that must be from the pick store. But this week, our Ramazon purchase of the week, this might have been you, Dave, is and I never have known how to say this, the Bulgari Manwood Essence Eau de Parfum 2-pieces set. Did you buy some Eau de Parfum this week, Dave?
As much as I probably need this product, no, it was not me.
Yes. So my little insider info, my wife has a very sensitive nose. I used to wear cologne all the time, and some days I stopped wearing it several years ago. She goes, "You smell really nice today," and it's just my deodorant. Like that is more than enough to keep me smelling good for her. So if you need any, I have some nice cologne that I might be willing to part with because I will probably never wear it again.
Yeah, thank you. I have some Stetson cologne.
Yes.
I think I got it in high school.
Yeah.
I kid you not. My wife also is very sensitive and very allergic to fragrance, and so I just don't wear this stuff.
Yes.
That's hilarious. Time to get rid of it, I think.
Yes. So this, and I believe this is a pretty high-end cologne. It's got perfect 5 stars on 11 ratings, and this comes with both the 3.4 ounce and the 0.5 ounce travel size bottles. Dave, you are the wrong person to ask on this, but how much would you pay?
Well, when I bought the Stetson back in high school, I think it was $12 maybe. Man, Bulgari Manwood Essence. Whew. So I'm sorry, it's 2 bottles? Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah, so it's one like normal size 3.4 ounce bottle and then the small travel size bottle.
This is going to be $48 worth of man juice right there.
Yes, well, don't you wish. $84.50.
Way off. I have no idea.
No, yeah,
no
that is
idea.
Not one of ours. But if you did purchase that, let us know how it smells. And it does look nice.
It does.
And with that, I think we are going to wrap up this episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for listening, watching. Even if you don't watch the video on YouTube, go over there and just let it play through. That really helps us out. Hit the like and the subscribe, ring the little bell, and that helps us as we try to grow our YouTube channel as well.
If you have pets that like the TV to be on and stuff, just put the podcast on and let them listen to that. So they might find it amusing.
Yes, entertain your pets with our YouTube podcast. That's our selling point.
Yeah.
Yikes. Well, thank you so much once again. Now get out there and tech better.
I was trying to be Nate Heath. Aye. Oh, aye.